Great morning, my fellow students. I want to welcome you to this online teaching and learning processes. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. Today's topic, we are going to talk about paragraphing, and the subject under this topic is business studies. You can see the pictorial aspect of paragraphing. You can see the pictorial aspect of paragraphing. Can you just take a look at the text by your side? Then after this, you can see from this place to this place, you see the written and see how it was being arranged. This was being arranged not just because the person want to beautify the paper. It was arranged to make the reader more effective. So in our own educational curriculum, it is very important that students observe their paragraphing, most especially because of examination, because you are communicating your answers to person that you don't know, or maybe when you are not there, the person will mark it. So paragraphing will help the person to take note to some certain time and even rest for some time before continuing with the reading. Alright, what do we mean by paragraphing? We can say that paragraphing is the practice of dividing a text into paragraphs. The purpose of paragraphing is to signal shift in thinking and give readers a rest, which is what I've explained to you using that graphical representation, that the major purpose of paragraphing is to give the reader a rest for the meantime before making a continuum during the reading. Paragraphing is a way of making visible to the reader the stages in the writer's thinking. J. Austen in 1978, although conventions about the length of paragraphs vary from one form of writing to another, most time guide recommended adapting paragraph length to your medium, subject, and audience. Ultimately, paragraphing should be determined by the rhetorical situation, example, and what observation. But before we go to an example and observation, you see the way paragraphing should be like this, just a stage of giving a learner a critical thinking on how he could be able to read it. Let's go straight to the examples or an observation about paragraphing. Now, paragraphing is not such as difficult skills, but it is an important one. Dividing up your reading into paragraphs shows that you are organized and make an easier to read. When we read and easy, we want to see how the argument is progressing from one point to the text. Unlike this book and unlike reports, easy does not essay don't use heavy. This made them look less reader friendly. So it is important to use paragraph regarding. So paragraph is very what? Important. Use paragraph like however. You just make a dictum of pause for some time before continue. As this explanation that I have made to you and these examples with observation that I gave to you, I told you that paragraphing is what? Very what? Important. Most especially in terms of communication from reader to what? To marker. Look less reader friendly, and so very important to use paragraph regarding to break up the mass of words and to signal the making of a new point. And think jumble without a track is sight, not very enjoyable and very hard work. A neat series of paragraphs act like stepping stone that can be followed gradually across the river. Now, according to Stephen McRae, essay writing make AC second and Pascal Press 2021. What we are trying to say in 2001. What you are trying to say in essence is that paragraphing is very what? Important. It is very what? Important because it makes your writing to become meaningful. It gives an understanding to a reader. It gives a neat works to the reader. It shows good communication skills between the learner and the what? The writer. Now, what is paragraphing basics? The following principles should be guided the way paragraphs are written for undergraduate assignment. For example, every paragraph should contain a single developed idea. Don't conjunction idea together. Make it a single word idea. Maybe you use finally in your paragraph, or you use however, or you use furthermore. Are you getting it now? It's giving the reader a very understanding that there is something that is left behind that you have to say. The key idea of the paragraph should be stated in the opening sentence of the paragraph. The key idea of the paragraph should be stated in the opening sentence. It shouldn't be at the middle or at the end of the what? A sentence. Use a variety of methods to develop your topic sentence. And also finally, use connective between and between paragraphs to unify your writing. Lazar Emerson, written guideline for social sciences subject and so many others. We are now going to move straightly to types of what? Paragraph. Yes. Now, this type of paragraph, you can see that it is a good idea to consider just these 4 types of paragraph. And one, we have the descriptive paragraph, we have the narrative paragraph, we have the expository paragraph, and we have the persuasive paragraph. Please, let's take up to the first one, which is the descriptive paragraph. This is the type of paragraph that describes something or shows the reader what a thing or a person is like. And also, the word chosen in the description often appear to the 5 senses of touch, smell, sight, and what? Sound, and what? Taste. This is the 5 senses of descriptive word paragraph. First is what? Touch. Second is what? Smell. Third is what? Sight. Fourth is what? Sound. And the last one is what? Taste. Descriptive paragraph can be artistic and may deviate from grammatical what? Norms. Are you getting it now? The descriptive paragraph comes from the word describe. Are you getting it now? If you want to describe something, maybe you describe something based on touch, you describe something based on smell, you describe something based on your sight, you describe something based on your sound, and you describe something based on your what? Taste. Example, this macaroni is so sweet. It is a taste, and you can describe what the macaroni tastes like. Did you understand what I'm saying? The next one is narrative paragraph. This is the type of paragraph that tells a story. It comes from the word narrate. Are you getting it now? Yes. And there is a sequence of action, or there is a clear beginning, middle, and the end to the word, to the paragraph. So everything about narrative paragraph is talks about storytelling. The fourth one is the expository paragraph. And this type of paragraph explains something or provide instruction. It could also describe a process and move the reader step by step, though through a method. And this type of paragraph often requires research, but it is possible that the writer is able to rely on his or her own knowledge and experience. Expository. And expository deals with perfection. It deals with perfection. Reaching this type of paragraph is all about, it also deals with description, but deals with what? With perfection. The last one is what? The persuasive paragraph. This is the type of paragraph that tries to get the reader to accept a particular point. He's convinced. Are you getting it now? Maybe under essay, we call it argumentative essay. Are you getting it? Where you bring the topic, I bring the topic, we discuss. Are you getting it? So this paragraph that brings about persuasive is just to convince somebody to accept your point. Are you getting it now? So you can see that this is the type of paragraph that many teachers focus on because it is useful and when building an argument. it often requires the collection of facts and what? Research. This is a structure of a paragraph. This is how paragraph should be. And the first thing that we consider a paragraph is introduction. The first section of a paragraph should include a topic, sentence, and any other sentences that are at the beginning of the paragraph that gives background and information or provide the transaction. So the first thing you consider in paragraph is what? Introduction. The second one is what? The body. Follows the introduction, discourse and controlling idea. Using fact, argument, analysis, examples, and other information should be under body. Then we talked about conclusion. After the introduction, after you give your reason in the body, then you have to what? Conclude. So these are the three structures. Number one structure is what? Introduction. Number two structure is what? The body. Number three structure is what? Conclusion. And in conclusion, it is the final section that we are using to summarize the connection between the information discussed in the body and in the introduction, and also the paragraph and the paragraphs controlling the what? The idea. I hope you do enjoy the class. And when next time we continue from our next topic. God bless you and stay safe.